I'm in Medellin today to speak at the Seedstars Conference event. But that's not what this video is about. Today's video is about the reason that I get to travel and be the CEO of a cool tech startup. A lot of that is because I can express myself comfortably in English, and English is not my native language. My native language is Spanish. And I've been trying and working most of my life to get rid of my accent. And thanks to the fact that I speak English, I got my first job, which allowed me to pay for college, which then allowed me to start my first company. And we did a Kickstarter campaign for that, which was of course in English. And it then allowed me to start Slidebean and then raise venture capital from US investors and host the now somewhat successful Slidebean YouTube channel. So I want to use this trip to talk about how I got rid of my English accent. Now, major disclaimer time. I didn't grow up in the US. I only came to the States for the first time when I was 21. I didn't go to a bilingual school or anything like that, no exchange programs. I actually learned English in high school and elementary school on a 2-3 hour a week system like most foreign speakers do. And education is, I believe, the first of 4 major backbones that I believe you need to have to really master a language. So, while you can kind of force yourself into learning a language, like if you have to move and just learn by force, I believe that just formal education really helps to speak properly. Another core variable here is that when I was a kid, my dad used to play for the Bundesliga. So my family and I, we moved to Germany for 2 years. At a very early age, I was forced into learning a second language. And I don't have any proof of this, but I believe that that second language at such a young age really helped to eventually master other languages. The next cornerstone, I believe, is immersion. So do your best to immerse yourself in the language that you're trying to learn. Ever since I was a kid, I've used all my devices in English. So this is this basic vocabulary and phrase and idiom training that you get to experience every day. I believe it's just lazy to use your devices in your native language. Just use that opportunity to study and immerse yourself in the language that you're trying to learn. It's kind of like the easiest thing. Which brings me to my next point, which is movies and TV. So I've always been a bit of a cinephile, and I think that you should always watch a movie in their original language. And most of the time, that language is English. Easy hacks like doing closed captioning, for example. You sort of automatically, without any effort, start memorizing how things are written. And that also extends to pronunciation, to vocabulary, to idioms. And if you're like me, that like to watch movies again and again and again, you're eventually gonna memorize some of that. Now, I remember clearly when I was in high school when we were doing prepositions or something like that, that the answer would come to me not because I knew the answer or because I studied for the test, but literally because I remembered a quote from a movie that I love and that used that preposition in the correct form. So I think that that's been really useful. Which brings me to my last point. The last cornerstone of this is, of course, practice. So I get to practice and I speak English pretty much every day of my life. I run a New York startup. I get to talk to customers and to our team. And English has become this essential part of my life. I'm thinking in English probably half or more of my day. But I understand that's not the case for everybody. So that's where today's video sponsor comes in. Overcome the Barrier is this fantastic platform where you can list hours and teach others your native language. So you don't need any formal training to sign up. You can sign up from anywhere in the world and teach pretty much any language in the world. Or you can go and take those lessons from teachers for extremely affordable rates. So the company CEO, Vladimir, flew down to our office last week and we had a nice discussion about the product and the go-to-market stuff. But one of the most interesting facts is that they're focusing on high school students now. So they're finding high schools in, say, the United States and connecting those students to students, say, in Costa Rica, and creating this sort of pen pal type of relationship between students where you have a friend abroad that teaches you the language that you're trying to learn and vice versa. So this is a super cool exchange that you can sign up for less than the price of a Netflix subscription. So, if you apply to any of those cases, either you want to make some extra money, teach your native language, or learn another language, or practice for an affordable rate, go ahead and check out Overcome the Barrier. Like I said, English has become a fundamental part of who I am. I believe that expressing yourself in another language opens a huge range of opportunities that you might not have access to. And then for us in Latin America, speaking English is pretty much fundamental for probably most of the jobs that you can aspire to. So I don't know if I'm shooting myself in the foot here, but please let me know in the comments if you're still able to catch my Latin accent and where. I guess that's always room for improvement. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next week.